In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to sign up for a new account on WordRocket and how to set up your API keys. So to sign up for a new account, head over to app.wordrocket.ai. And then we want to hit the sign up mode. And this is where we're going to enter in our email. So for example, we're going to enter in our email and then a password in which we would like to choose for our password. And your password must be at least 6 characters long. So once I've entered in my email and password, just go ahead and click create account and your account will be automatically created. Now, this is where it's very, very important. In order to use WordRocket, there's 2 main ways for you to get started. The best way is by using your OpenRouter API key. So let's go ahead and first show you how to set up this formatting and this API key. So in order to set up OpenRouter, just head over to OpenRouter.ai. And then we're going to want to hit the hamburger menu, head over to keys, and then click create new API key. We can give it a name like WordRocket so that we know that this API key is being used on WordRocket. And then you want to go ahead and click create. Once you click create, your new API key will be visible. We can copy over that API key, head back over to WordRocket and paste in that API key. Now, as you can see here, that API key will not be exposed and we never save it, but you can then use that API key. Now, if this happens for some reason, this just means that it's thinking that that is a email. Just go ahead and remove that. So now you're actually all set up and you can use around 90% of the features on WordRocket. Before we get started, it is very, very important to note that if you like to use OpenRouter, you need to have at least $10 of credit on OpenRouter. So you need to add credit on OpenRouter in order to use it. If you don't, you will not be able to use WordRocket, and that is just an OpenRouter feature that they have. You have to prepay $10 of credit, and that's USD. So once you've done that, your API key should work. As I mentioned, you can then use 90% of the features on WordRocket just with this OpenRouter integration. Now, these models may change at the time of when you're watching this video, but we're always going to have some of the top models from OpenRouter, and that's why it's really important to use the OpenRouter model, because you can then access hundreds of new models as they come out. Now, the second main way in which you can use WordRocket is by heading over to settings. We're just going to scroll by here, and there's a couple of other API keys in which we can use. Now, one of the main API keys that you would like to enter as well is going to be your Gemini API key. So if we wanted to use Gemini, we need to head over to aistudio.google.com. And then we need to enter, or we need to go to Get API Key. Once we go to Get API Key, we then want to click on the API Key section right along the project number, project name, created, and plan. As you can see, I'm on a completely free plan of Gemini. So the point of using Gemini's API is that you can use it for completely free, literally $0. You don't have to prepay. So I'm going to copy over that API key. And then I'm going to head back over to WordRocket and I'm going to paste in my Gemini API key. Once you've done that, you can use about 95% of the features and the tools on WordRocket. To use the rest of the features and templates on WordRocket, you need to enter in your OpenAI API key and your ideogram API key. Ideogram is really optional. That's if you want to be able to use ideogram image generator templates. Let's head back over to the settings here. But the OpenAI API key is really, really important, because if you like to generate text and images all together in one using our all-in-one SEO generator template, then that would mean you would have to use your OpenAI API key. So let's go ahead and get that set up. To get your API key, head over to platform.openai.com/API-keys, or you can just head over to openai.com, go to API platform. So once you're in the platform.openai.com, then we want to head over to the settings, as you can see here, settings right beside your profile, and then right under organization and general, there's going to be API keys. And this is where you need to go ahead and create your secret API key. Let's go ahead and click create secret API key. And then again, we can give it a name. So WordRocket, select the project, default project, or if you have any other projects, and click create secret key. So we can go ahead and create our secret key, and then we can copy over that key and paste it back into WordRocket. Now, a big thing to note is that if you want to use the ChatGPT Images API, that means if you want to generate images with ChatGPT's API using your API key, you need to verify your organization. So that means you're going to have to go into general, and if your organization is verified, great, you can go ahead and use it. If it is not verified, then you may need to go through some verifications, which means you may need to upload your ID onto OpenAI in order to use the OpenAI ChatGPT API. And that is, as of now, I don't know if that may change in the future, but as of now, just make sure your organization is verified if you're running into any issues using your image API. So now that we have our OpenAI API key, we can paste that in and click Update OpenAI API Key. The next API key that you can use is ideogram. So just sign up for an account on IDOG.ai, and then we're going to head over to our profile here, then go to API. In order to start using the Ideogram API, you need to add your billing payment onto Ideogram. So let's go ahead and add our billing payment. We're going to do a personal. And then as you can see here, it's not going to charge you anything. It is $0 that it's going to charge, but I'm just going to subscribe, and essentially it will use that card or that link in order to charge me if I do use the API. And this is a common practice with most APIs. If you want to use it, you need to actually have a billing method on file in order for it to charge that billing method if you are running or pulling the API calls. Okay, so as you can see here, my billing is now set up. I have a minimum balance threshold, and you can change it as you like. And then I can go ahead and click Create API Key. Now again, in order to create an API key with Ideogram, you need to first add funding to API account balance. I know it's kind of annoying, but again, what can you do? You need to add $20 in order to use the API key. So you need to add $20 based upon the billing method that you just entered. Now I've already done that, so I do have an API key. So I'm going to paste in that API key for Ideogram and click Update. So as you can see here, now all of your API keys are set and you're ready to start generating content.